What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here with possibly my last video of the year. Certainly my last Christmas horror review of the year. I did one last year and two this year, so this will be number 4. And I've got a long list, and I hope to get one or two more in before Christmas. I still didn't watch the copy of Christmas Evil I got last year. At any rate, but I think I've got one maybe no one else has seen or reviewed. If anybody's seen it, I'm counting on Joe the Horror Man. But this was a strange one. Now, this was on the White Slaves of Chinatown 3D channel. This is a great YouTube channel. They've got some real oddities. Look at this. 10,000 Points of Light documentary. A lot of vintage documentaries. The Disease That Stole Christmas. That's like a 1995 Pittsburgh, like a public access. But this is the movie I watched. Night Visitors, 1987, a regional Pennsylvania Christmas home invasion movie. I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. And not only that, it's a regional film. This was filmed in Sharon, Pennsylvania, 1987. Okay, way out there by Newcastle. I wonder if the fellas at Newcastle After Dark have seen this. And if you look, there's not a whole lot of info about it. I don't think that it's gotten... Apparently it had I'll show you the pictures, but apparently it had a physical release maybe outside of the United States. It doesn't look like maybe even a VHS release in the United States. Maybe. In the beginning of it, you see, of this copy anyway, you see some certifications from Great Britain. So, and when it starts, you're going to say, wow, this looks pretty cheap. I'll tell you what, though. This movie, I had a great time with it. First of all, it has a certain tone. I mean, and it is wacky, but it's so consistent. You know, I just watched this movie, Chompy and the Girl on Tubi, because the trailer looked nuts. It just didn't maintain itself throughout the whole movie. It really fizzled. It just didn't last. There was a couple funny moments. It didn't last. But, you know, a movie like Velocipaster or Tucker and Dale versus Evil, you know, if they have it might take you a minute or two to sort of adjust your expectations and get used to the tone of the film, but but if it's consistent, then you can have fun with it and enjoy it. And this one really was just something else. It basically starts with this all-American family celebrating Christmas, and they're baking, and you know, there's the neighbors' kids are over Christmas caroling, and they're saying things to each other like, who wants to have one more game of Trivial Tidbits before dinner? And everybody looks like right out of like Ozzie and Harriet, you know, the Leave It to Beaver type of white bread family, and their name's the Whitmores, I think. And then they get these visitors. And I have to say, everybody in this was pretty good. Let me give you some of the names, because they really did a good job. But they get these visitors led by Daniel Hirsch, who plays Travis. And he was just this... his delivery was just like, I mean, flawless throughout the whole movie. You could almost imagine like Bruce Campbell playing this role, but he had his own unique delivery. These 4 visitors come in, and it's not clear what they want. They appear to have... maybe they're part of some religious cult or something. But they come in, and first they come Christmas caroling, and then they say, you know, the old... our car won't start, and can we use your phone? And then they're invited to wait inside, and then pretty much they're staying for dinner, and then they take over. They just take over. And then eventually this milquetoast family, which is just allowing them to be pushed around, and they're using bad language, and the grandma is like horrified, even though at one point she tells the grandkids a dirty joke and says, don't tell mom and dad. That was hilarious. Eventually they pull out a gun, and they just like take charge, and it's not clear what they want. The kids, 2 sons and a daughter, are very like wound up. You know, they're wearing sweaters and doing puzzles, and the teenage daughter is like wanting to be able to express herself more, and she gives this big speech, and it's nothing crazy. It's not like she's like, I want to go skydiving and I want to do this. It's just like she wants to do the most normal stuff, you know. It's so funny. And I just, it's hard to explain this movie. That's what the title looks like. You see how sort of slapdash it looks like a cable access movie or something. But it is, it is just, you have to sort of watch it. If you get about 20 minutes into it and it's not for you, then it's not for you. But if you get about 20 minutes into it and you're kind of laughing a little bit and you're kind of curious to see where it goes, you're going to have a good time with it. And it is very much a Christmas movie. I mean, you've got Christmas caroling, the house is decorated, and there's even, without giving anything away, the climax even involves the Christmas decorations. And if the Christmas decorations weren't there, things would have ended differently. That's all I'm going to say. It doesn't get, it's not like real, like it's not like this piece of work here. You're not going to get this kind of reaction from it, okay? It's not like Fight for Your Life, which is like just cringy and almost hard to watch sometimes as far as home invasion goes. There's a couple awkward moments. You know, there's a couple F-bombs, and as is usually the case in these movies, actually, as was the case in this, there's four individuals doing the intruding on this family, and the hillbilly guy, that's what they call him, who you've seen in movies before, by the way. And a lot of this cast you've seen before. Some of them have been in films by like David Dakota and others. I kind of it was interesting for me to look them up. You know, they yell like racial expletives back and forth at each other. That's almost like a standard from that era. It doesn't get real bad, but just be aware that it's in there, and there's a few F-bombs. It's not a very violent movie at all. Yeah, I also wanted to mention that the female intruder, Lucy, played by Michelle Winding, or possibly Michelle Winding, totally comes on to the one straight-laced son. She's like touching him under the table and stuff and making him feel uncomfortable. And where that goes is pretty funny, I have to tell you. She only has a few credits, but she was good. It's just something to watch. I mean, it's just something very unique. And I think for a regional film, they really did a good job. I mean, it's just really an oddity. And if you're looking for an odd film to watch, check this one out. It was just something to say. I guess I won't say too much more, but just the dialogue, the delivery, the parents, oh my gosh, just everything about it. I mean, they were really on point, and it's one of the better sort of treats I stumbled on this holiday season. Anyway, guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.